While the rest of the world looked at Italy, I found this. This October, my girlfriend and I decided to visit Montenegro. And naturally, I brought my film camera to document the trip. But before we dive into the shots, feel free to grab a coffee or a tea, sit back and enjoy the video. I watch you guys. Stay away from the coffee, right? I took with me my Nikon FM2, which I kindly inherited, aka I stole it, from my mother. She took photos with it. I think she had it for, I don't know, but this camera is like 30 years old at minimum. It has been my entry-level drug of choice for analog photography, and it works perfect, man. I mean, that camera is like unbreakable. It needs obviously no batteries, so you can run it all the time. You don't have to worry about anything. You just got to put your film in, and I'm grabbing it right now so you can see it. That's the camera. I mean, it has some spots. It definitely saw the ground once or twice. Already the copper, there's some kind of copper underneath the paint that's coming out, but I don't care. I got a cheap Nikon E-series lens, 28mm f2.8, which I took on a trip. It was my only photography gear that I took. I also took my film camera, which is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. Man, what a name. Blackmagic, you gotta work on your names. So we started our trip. Flight was not that long. Drove about 1.5 hours from the airport, and we arrived at this gate that didn't open, and we had no way to contact our host because we didn't have cell service. So I had to climb over the fence. There were like 3 houses, and I ran to the first, and I rang, and I waited, and I was under my breath. But everything worked out. The host came, they opened the gate, we got the key to open the gate, and then we arrived. The house was amazing. We had this kind of platform in front of our house where we could oversee the whole bay, and it was purely magical. Right off the gate, I took 2 photos, I think. One from the house, one from the view. While my girlfriend is sitting in a chair, and you can just see the ocean, you know. So this was the first restaurant that we visited when we arrived, and yeah, the view was pretty great. And I took a picture of my girlfriend and the cat, and yeah, also took this picture outside, and I really like the colors. There are a lot of street cats in Montenegro. At our first day, I bought 2 packs of cat food. We always fed the cats. I was like cat Jesus. I was walking around throwing the cat food around, and I'm not quite sure if people like it in restaurants, because the place we had breakfast, the cat was underneath the table and there was a big pile of cat food, and yeah, we didn't get kicked out though, so probably people didn't notice. So do it, but do it undercover. After we ate at the cafe, we drove a little further. We found a church or a chapel. I don't know what's the difference. It's probably a church. And it looked super interesting. And we just parked there, and there was some kind of baptism going on. I don't know what's the English word for it actually. I'm gonna just blend it in right now. When I take a photo, I'm obviously always looking for some sign of kind of geometry in my framing. I want the frame to be balanced, but I really like symmetry when I frame things, when I frame photos. Yeah, so that's kind of the things I'm looking for. Also pretty interesting colors, quite frankly, and obviously the light. Like, light is the most important thing when you are taking photos. So if any of you are aspiring photographers or filmmakers, forget about gear, forget about that fancy Sony mirrorless, forget about all that. Focus on lighting, focus on finding great light, work on your composition. I think these are the most important things. We drove home, took a little break, and on day 2 we had beautiful weather, so we went down to the little local beach. My girlfriend was lying on the beach, she was reading, but I'm the kind of guy that I can't sit there and do nothing for too long. So she was chilling on the beach, and I took off for a little photo trip. And I just randomly walked up this cliffside where you had a really great perspective overlooking the beach and the bay. I saw these fishermen. I think it was actually a couple who were fishing down there. The perspective was really great because you were up really high and you were shooting down on them. So the backdrop was just ocean, and it looked really great. And I walked up higher and there was this kind of bench, red bench. I also liked it a lot. Sadly, I didn't get the picture right. I f***ed up the focus twice. But yeah, I mean, the essence is still there. Back at the beach, went down after I took the photos. And there was this guy, this older gentleman who was enjoying himself on the beach. And it was this peaceful scene of him sitting there, enjoying his life. Maybe he was also asleep, I don't know, but it just looked really peaceful. I took a photo with my digital camera, and I also took a photo with my analog Nikon. And I think that's pretty much my favorite picture of the whole trip. I mean, that's life, right? Gotta sit on the beach, no one's bothering you, no phone, no nothing. I mean, that's what life's about in the end. It's just like peaceful and great. And I really liked it. On day 3, we went to Stefan. I don't know how to... It sounds nasty. Like some guy is sweating. Sveti Stefan. But it was this small village where there was also like a little village on the water. It was very trippy. And for some reason there was also like a Nobu. But it was like completely... It looked abandoned. So I finally looked it up, and as it turns out, the story is pretty interesting. So I'll keep it short for you guys. Sveti Stefan used to be a luxury island resort run by a man. But in 2021, locals protested the restricted beach access. Fences were torn down and the entire resort had to shut down. Since then, the island has stayed closed because of legal disputes between the operator and the government. And because everything closed at once, the Nobu there is now just, abandoned. So that's the thing. We went there in the off season, like in October. There aren't a lot of tourists. The places you visit, they very often look like there's some kind of zombie apocalypse going on, and people left everything. A very good example of what I'm talking about. We found this beach that was completely empty. There was no one there, and there was only this beach club that was also abandoned, and it was kind of still under construction, but it had this very eerie vibe, and I took this still, which I really like. After we left the beach, further down the road, I took a photo of this McLaren. I was actually taking a photo of the horizon, and I heard some engine sounds, and I saw this car, and I really liked the vibe of the picture. Kind of looks like some GTA 6 promotional photo, or I don't know. I really like it. There was this Porsche guided driving tour, and I took some photos of the cars passing, and I took one of my photos that was actually like my favorite photo of the whole trip, where there's this gray Porsche 911, and in the backdrop you can see the little village kind of island, and I really like that photo. On day 4, we visited Budva, which is a little bit of a bigger city in Montenegro. Quick little side story. As we were walking through Budva, I saw these 2 boys who were riding their bikes in the middle of the city. And I took 2 pictures of them. They were really happy. And one of them asked me if I could send them pictures when they were done. I had to create a Telegram account to send him the pictures because that was the only messaging service that he had. But after he received the pictures, he kind of ghosted me. So I guess he wasn't too happy with them, but I still like the pictures a lot. And we went to a beach. Actually, we parked somewhere, and there was like this sign out of nowhere where it said beach. So we were like, okay, can never miss a beach, let's go. And we hiked down, took about 20 minutes. And the scene was also phenomenal. Really great beach. No one was there. Like, first time we went there were like 2 people or 3 people. and just pure magic. The waves, and it was also really warm, so I went into the ocean. It's just really nice. Really liked it. Yeah. I think analog film just is a much more rewarding experience than shooting on your phone. First of all, the pictures you take with analog, they might not be as perfect from a technical standpoint than your mirrorless digital photos or your iPhone pics, but they just have this quality, they have a sort of life in them that digital photos, in my opinion, just don't have. And the process is also a lot more rewarding. Like you take the photos, you don't see them right away, you don't know if you took a great shot or not, and you have them developed, and you have to wait, and there's kind of like this this anticipation going on where you're literally looking forward to getting the pictures, and when they arrive, it's like a little Christmas every time. I mean, I get them digitally. I get them to a little film lab here that's called what's it called? I think it's called Film Lab. I'm gonna just get the name to you right here. I mean, it's obviously just interesting for people from Germany. I mean, you can get film emulations, like I'm emulating film all the time, obviously in my professional work whenever I do client projects, but it's not the same. Analog photos, this imperfection actually makes them perfect. Yeah, just let me know in the comments if you ever photographed analog, and if you haven't, like, get started. I think I'm gonna do a whole video just on analog photography and why I love it. And how I got into it. Yeah, so like, subscribe if you want to see that. Also, if you want to see a video about how I edit my photos or just more about my process, give me a comment down below. I really appreciate everyone who's taking time out of their day to shoot me a message, give me a like. Just super grateful for that. So see you in the next video.